What's up, guys? Adam Chandler here. We're live on my Facebook fan page, facebook.com/meetadamchandler. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm about to host a morning call for a group of entrepreneurs for a online marketing company and system that I've been a part of throughout 2017. That's made a huge difference for my business. The company is called Lifestyle Design International. Laptop Lifestyle is the online marketing system, it's a cool system. It's a cool community. Psyched to be a part of it, and very happy to be behind this. Like it, share it. It's going to be probably about 30 minutes that we're going to be doing this, and I'm going to be dialing into the call. So, forgive the few minutes of dead air that you're gonna experience before we get into the actual content. While I dial in, we've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 9710.
Welcome to Lifestyle Design International Conferencing System. Hi, this is Kenzie calling in from Orange, Utah. I would like to welcome each and every one of you to the half-hour call today. As you join us, you'll have to give us your first name and the state, country, or province you are calling in from. Please join us today.
Okay. While they're doing that, I just want to make sure that I'm muted. I think there's still something I need to do to unmute myself. So if you're joining us live, if you're joining us live, just let us know you're here. Just say hi. Maybe share where you are joining us from in the world, and we'll be getting started in just a minute. All right, Kenzie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, cool. I'll take it from here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. What's up, guys? So excited to be with you this morning to be hosting the Lifestyle Design International half hour of power morning call. These are calls that I have been getting on religiously since we kicked off these morning calls a few months ago within the LDI community, and just to kind of recap, Jeff Lerner takes the Monday call. He's been doing a really cool series on behavioral economics, and there's a lot of really cool psychology. In Jeff's call, you really get insights into Jeff Lerner's brain, which is incredible, and definitely the kind of entrepreneur that you want to be around as much as possible, because it's very innovative, very creative. And I feel very fortunate to be kind of part of his world, and to kind of get into his brain through the morning calls as one of the ways. And then Andrew Cass hosts the Friday call on productivity, which is really good, especially now being the beginning of a new month. Here we are. It is Wednesday, August the 2nd. So anytime you're starting off a new month, a new quarter, a new year, really helpful to be around Andrew and his check up from the neck up about productivity. And if you're really being an entrepreneur, a lot of Andrew's content is about being an entrepreneur and building your entrepreneur muscles. Which is something that we all need to do if we want to be more effective in our businesses, and in this in this endeavor, and if you're hearing this right now, then you're in home-based business, you're in online marketing, and most likely you want to get better results so that you can live a more abundant life of freedom and all the good stuff that comes along with that. And then the Wednesday call, this call is kind of devoted more to marketing, and that is what this call is going to be about. Is going to be about the marketing strategies and concepts and principles that have made the biggest difference for me, and that will make the biggest difference for you and move the needle the most in your effort to become a better marketer, to become a more effective and profitable marketer, and all the good stuff that comes along with doing that, because this business is really all about marketing, and one of the cool things about a company like Lifestyle Design International and these online marketing systems is that there's so much done for you that the only thing that you really need to do is get good at marketing, and it's a skill set that that we hone and develop over time, and this call is all about what's going to make the biggest difference for you in your online marketing. So I'm going to be identifying and discussing the concepts and principles that have made the biggest difference for me and that will make the biggest difference for you. I was on a podcast. It was like an influence podcast just the other day, and I was asked what skills have I acquired that have made the biggest difference for me. And immediately I thought about video marketing, because that was something that I've done that kind of early on. I really embraced video marketing, and it really made a huge difference in my results very early on, not just in driving more traffic and leads, but it made a big difference for me. Getting good at video made me more confident in, even when I was on the phone with prospects, it made me more confident in getting good at video marketing bled into lots of other areas of my business. So that was one of the thoughts that I had when they asked me that question. Another thing that came to mind was my writing skills, right? Getting good at copywriting and getting good at writing in a way that is influential, and that's conversational, and that gets people to take action, right? And that was kind of my answer to them was they asked me what skills have I acquired with that have allowed me to become a top producer many years and in many different companies in the industry over the years, and I said it was copywriting and becoming a better writer. And later on I was actually thinking about the question, and I really thought that was not the correct answer. The thing that really, if I now that I was actually thinking about it when I wasn't on the spot the way that I was when they were interviewing me for this podcast, the biggest thing that's made a difference for me in my results in my business is my ability to get people's attention online, right? And my ability to kind of get people to kind of do a double take, right? It's they see something and then they've got to look again. And attention is the first thing that you need. If you want to have results as a marketer, the first thing that you need is their attention. And being able to capture someone's attention through multiple different mediums, whether that be video, whether it be through social media, whether it be in their email inbox, just getting good at capturing people's attention and getting them to kind of look again, and just getting and commanding people's attention, because that is the first thing that you need. If you're not going to have anything until you have their attention. And so the first kind of part of this call, I'm going to be talking mostly about getting people's attention in different ways that we do that throughout multiple communication mediums and channels across the internet. Sorry, I was gonna call. Okay. So I want to talk first, in terms of marketing and getting people's attention, is the concept of pleasure versus pain. So everything that we do as human beings is either to move, every decision that we make is either to move towards pleasure or to move away from pain. Okay, so it's either to move towards pleasure or move away from pain. I was on a training by a very, very successful direct response marketer by the name of Frank Kern, actually, just recently. I haven't really consumed much of Frank's stuff, but he's one of the highest paid direct response marketers in the world, so it definitely makes sense to pay attention to him. And I had the opportunity to do this through one of his online training videos, and he was talking about this like headline formula, and he was talking about how to write headlines for lead capture pages and sales pages, and it was actually a training on webinars, and he was talking about how to write a headline for a webinar, which a lot of times the lead capture page is going to register them onto the webinar, whatever. But basically the headline formula was how to X, and then X is like pleasure, right? How to get X, right? Pleasure, without Y, which is pain, right? So how to X without Y. So like how to recruit 10 people a month into your home-based business without getting doors slammed in your face by your friends and family, right? I've had headlines where I've talked about results that I've gotten, and how I achieved X without pain, right? How I generated 5,811 leads and recruited 166 people into my business, or attracted 166 new customers into my business, without without dealing with overwhelming technical strategies or embarrassing rejection from friends and family. So you see the pleasure versus pain there. You see that, like, how to have pleasure without pain. And even though that was a formula for how to write lead capture pages, you can see how that principle could really apply to lots of areas of your business, and we'll talk about that kind of as we move forward here. But people do a lot to avoid pain. You see this in marketing all the time. Are you sick of X, right? Are you sick of whatever that the pain happens to be? So a really good practice, a really good thing to do, to become a better marketer and to become more influential in your marketplace is to really list out the pains that someone that buying your product or buying your service can solve. Like, what is the pain that your thing, whatever it is that you're promoting, can alleviate. And I once heard a very successful marketer one time say that if you want to make money in a niche, there's got to be the presence of one of two things: either fanatical people or a lot of pain, right? And in this industry, we actually have both, because in home-based business, there is a lot of there's fanatical people. There's people that will spend irrational amounts of money on their business and on training to develop themselves as a marketer. I mean, the amount of money that I spend on my business is like crazy, like because I'm super into it. I'm really it's something that I'm fanatical about, right? And it's also an industry where we have there are a lot of people that are trying to make money online, or there's a lot of people that are trying to make money from home, right? And those people have challenges. A lot of times they don't know who to trust. They don't know who's being honest and who's not. There's a lot of garbage home business opportunities out there. There's a lot of, there's a few scams. There's probably not as many as some people think, but there's a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of pain that we can solve with our thing. One of the other ways that we can kind of speak to someone's pain is by sharing personal stories. And that's another thing that I've gotten good at in terms of capturing people's attention, is telling compelling stories, a lot of times through the written word, or sometimes in video. But like back in the day when I just want to share something. I'm going to go to my computer here. This is from an email. I've used this in social media and like Facebook ads, but this particular thing is from an email. So I said, back when I joined my first network marketing business in 2008, I had no experience as an entrepreneur, as well as zero marketing skills, zero credibility with my friends and family, zero online or technical skills, zero connections in the industry, zero success stories to fall back on. In fact, zero success in anything to speak of, period. The fact that I had no credibility with my friends and family made it nearly impossible to prospect them without getting blown off or even laughed at. So my warm market was completely out of the question. Okay, so that was just kind of one of the things that I did to share. I guess maybe that's not so much sharing the pain, but it makes me very relatable to them, because that's the majority of people, right? The majority of people have zero marketing skills. The majority of people that I'm communicating with through this email have zero marketing skills, zero credibility with friends and family, zero online or technical skills, no connections in the industry, and no success stories, right? And then this is actually an ad that I used to promote LDI, and I've made a lot of sales in LDI specifically with this particular ad. And let me actually just read the beginning of this ad. So my friend and home business mega producer Jeff Lerner released his laptop lifestyle formula that allowed him to make nearly $450,000 in his first year in direct sales. When I first read that, I thought maybe it was a typo, especially in an industry where 97% of people make less than $10 a week. So there I'm kind of talking about the pain of the majority of the people in the industry, right? Then he told me something that made it all crystal clear. He told me he had a gift for making complicated things really simple and developing online systems and lead funnels that produce $1,000 commissions like clockwork. And now here's where we get into the pain, right? Without going to hotel meetings, without pitching your friends and family, or really even talking to anyone at all until they become a customer. Jeff actually forbids his people from doing such low leveraged activities. That's just kind of the beginning of this Facebook story post that has driven a lot of sales for me. But you can see it's pleasure versus pain, isn't it? It's like how getting $1,000 commissions without the pain, right? Without having to do what a lot of people have to do to make money in this industry, which is dragging their friends to hotel meetings, right? Which is chasing around their friends and family who aren't interested in starting a business, right? That's pain. It's like twisting the knife through the story. So we've talked a little bit about pain. I want to talk now a little bit about pleasure and some of the different ways that I've used pleasure in my marketing and communication to grow my business. So one of the things I learned from a really successful video marketer at one time was to start a video with Imagine. Okay, so Imagine is a really cool way to get people kind of into a, you want people to be in their right brain, right? You want people to be in like not the analytical side of their brain, but you want them to be in the, you know, in the creative, like dreaming side of their brain, right? So saying imagine is a great way to get people to do that. So imagine, you know, imagine, you know, generating 25 leads a day in your business like clockwork, and just having that part of your business just handled, right? Imagine waking up every morning to new lead notifications and new commission notifications. Imagine being invited to speak on stage at your next company event because you're setting such a great example for other distributors and affiliates to follow, right? Imagine, I just had you know, today's the second day of August, right? I had just in LDI alone, and I've got other income streams in my business, but just in LDI alone, I had a $1,500 a day yesterday, and then I woke up this morning to another Freedom sale, so that was another $1,200 today. So I mean, imagine starting a brand new month. Imagine starting a brand new month with a $1,500 commission because 2 people bought something in your company. You know, and then you could even go into the pain, right? You know, I used to be in, you know, low ticket, you know, MLM companies where, you know, I would recruit somebody and only make $50, right? And now, you know, when I introduce somebody to the business, I'll make a $1,250 commission. So you see you know, I'm using my own story to kind of talk about the you know, the pleasure versus pain. This is the way I used to, and I just want to kind of jump ahead here. One of the things I've learned along the way is, and one of the ads that I created, one of the most successful Facebook ads I've ever created, it basically followed the formula that was, I used to be like you, then I found this. And then this is kind of an optional part. Now I have this. So if you have results, you can add like the end, but it's not even necessary. All you have to really do is say, I used to be like you. I used to have the same pain that you're experiencing now. But then I found the blueprint. You know, then I found this system, right? And you're not even saying that, you know, now I'm an internet millionaire. You're just saying now I found the thing that has, you know, that is positioning me for high ticket commissions, blah blah blah, right? But that was one thing I learned from a very successful person who, like, one of the most successful Facebook ads experts that I know. She said, pretend like you are sitting next to a friend giving them advice. Like your friend is going through a hard time right now and you're giving them advice on how to turn a corner, right? So it's like you can almost picture them like hey, I used to be like you, then I discovered this, right? And then just to speak to results, one thing that I've learned that I teach my team and that I really like is what I call the perpetual results formula. You get a result and then you use content and social media to like parlay that into a bigger result, right? So you get, you know, you generate 10 leads and then you start making content and videos about, oh my God, I just generated 10 leads, you know, and there's a lot of people online that have never generated 10 leads online before and that would love to know how to do that and that will pay attention to you, you know, if you share something like that, and then you can use that to get, you know, another result, right? So I have a team member, Roxy. She made a $3,000 commission in LDI, and I'm like, Roxy, the first thing, like, now you need to go like shout it from the rooftops about, you know, use social media and use video and use, you know, content, you know, blog, whatever you've got to you know, make a big deal out of the fact that you just made a $3,000 commission, and then compare that to your last business where how many people would you know, she made a $3,000 commission because one person bought a high ticket thing in LDI. You know, if she, you know, then she, you know, she actually said, she's like, in my old company, I would have had to make 30 sales in order to make a $3,000 commission. It's just, you really want to take any result that you've got and then turn it, and then use content marketing, use social media to turn that into an even bigger result. And that's because it kind of snowballs, right? Because then you get the bigger result, then you do the same thing again, and then you get an even bigger result, and then you do the same thing again. And then, then you're creating capture pages and webinars about, how I had a $30,000, month, even though I was on vacation for 2 weeks out of the month. You know what I mean? That's how, but you got to start with the small results if you're just getting started, and eventually you'll have those bigger results, or you'll be able to say, imagine waking up in the morning to a $1,200 commission notification. That was my morning this morning, and then a very, very big day yesterday, to start the month. It's because I've really adopted principles like this. It's because I've taken the results that I've gotten in the past and made a big deal out of them, right? And parlayed those into even bigger results. All right, what time we got here? How are we doing? 9:23. All right. So I'm going to go for a few more minutes here. There's definitely a few more things that are just absolute marketing, business building gold that I want to share with you here. And one of the things, and we're still talking about attention, right? We're still talking about how to capture people's attention online. And this is actually something that I originally learned from Andrew Cass, and it is just an absolutely brilliant, marketing concept. And it was when I first learned from Andrew, he called it multimedia marketing or multi-channel marketing. The internet is a very, very noisy place, right? Social media is a very noisy place. If you're making videos on YouTube, the next video is just one click away, right? It's very one of the things that you can do to get people's attention and to kind of rise above the noise, and there's so much noise out there, is through touching your prospects through multiple different communication mediums. So Andrew was talking about rather than just relying on email marketing the way a lot of marketers do, and the way maybe you could do 5 or 6 years ago, right? Now in order to get more people's attention, it's not enough to just be inside their email inbox. You want to be inside their you want to be showing up in their email inbox. You want to be showing up in their their social media news feeds. The phone is another communication modality where if you're touching them in their phone, whether that be calling them or having someone else call them on your behalf, or text message. And that's been I've actually been using text messaging more and more. Like when somebody buys the Laptop Lifestyle, the front end of our marketing system, one of the first thing that happens is they get a text message saying, "Welcome to Laptop Lifestyle. Here's what's going to happen next." And you might be you might be brand new. You might not be to the point in your business where you're integrating text message marketing, right? And the cool thing about a system like LDI, I mean, they're now doing direct mail. They're actually sending a newsletter and like a really professionally designed direct mail to new Laptop Lifestyle members, and doing other things like SMS text message marketing, direct mail. They're doing a lot of things on your behalf that are doing this multimedia marketing. But the more that you're doing that, like on your own, and not just relying on LDI to do it, but you doing it on your own, is really going to make a big difference. So one of the ways to start would be multiple social media channels. So rather than just showing up in their Facebook news feed, showing up on Twitter, showing up on LinkedIn, showing up in on video. Create a situation where your prospects cannot make a right turn on the internet without running into something of yours, and that kind of consistency, it really does your perception, their perception of you will just go through the roof if they start to see that. They're going to, so people start off, your prospects, they start off as really skeptical yet curious. They're going to start off as skeptical yet curious, and there are things that we need to do in any type of like sales or marketing environment where people they know that they're being sold to. I think it's like we see like 70, the average American sees 70,000 marketing messages a day or something ridiculous like that. We have this ability, like we create this brick wall in any type of sales or marketing situation. We have this kind of brick wall that exists between the promoter, the salesperson, and the prospect. And if you want to make the sale, you've got to chip away or destroy that wall. And the way that you do that is through establishing trust. And the way that you establish trust is through positioning yourself as an authority. And the way that you position yourself as an authority is through like multimedia marketing, doing things like that we've been talking about throughout this call. Multimedia marketing is one of the best ways that you can do that. Another way to destroy that wall, right? Because the sale is going to be made once that wall is gone, right? Another way to do that is like I said, to position yourself as an authority. And one of the best ways to position yourself as an authority, especially early on, is to become a content creator, right? And there's a lot of cool ways to create content. You could be creating video content on YouTube. You could be creating video content on Facebook. You could be creating, story posts on Facebook and on lots of other, social media platforms. You could do that. You could do it through email. There's lots of different ways that you can create content, but content drives the internet. There's no way. I think Gary Vaynerchuk said that if you're not creating content, you basically don't exist online, and that's not good. that's not where you want to be if you want to be creating results as a marketer and as an entrepreneur. You want to be seen. You want to be very visible and creating content, and that's going to kind of bleed into this concept of multimedia marketing is what's going to make a really big difference. So it's been something that I've learned along the way is that if you want to, one of the best ways to create authority and position yourself as an authority is to either publish like a book related to your topic, right? Or to speak on stage at events in your industry, right? I would say probably the next best thing to writing a book would be to publish your own blog. Now we actually have the LDI blog, so it's kind of a done for you, like built-in aspect of the LDI system and of the Laptop Lifestyle system, which is really exciting because new people can come in and have it as a done for you resource, whereas in other things I've been involved with in the past, I had to create it all from scratch. I had to figure out how to put it on WordPress and do all that stuff. Now we have that's one of the many done for you elements that we have within the LDI system and with the LDI community. It's fairly new, and I think very few people are actually taking advantage of it. But you guys, content. If you want to destroy that wall, if you want to position yourself as an authority, create more trust and credibility with your prospects, and just obliterate that wall so that you can make more sales, content is absolutely key to doing that. And last couple things I want to talk about here. What is your unique selling proposition? your USP, and you could talk about that from like yourself, right? What is what is doing business with you going to, doing business personally with you? How are they going to get a different experience than they would anywhere else? But even with LDI, how what are the things? I think a really good exercise to do to get better results in your marketing in this business is to really list out the things that make this business different than everything else that's out there. So like high ticket commissions, that's one of the big things, right? The ability to make high ticket commissions and make on one sale what other companies and other systems takes 30 sales to make, right? Having a call center that closes sales for you, having so many done for you research. Those are just a few things that make the LDI business model different than a lot of other things that are out there. But get really specific, like actually write it down, like what are the things that make this business different, and really start to call attention to those things in your social media content, in your videos, in your blog posts, because it's really important to be different, to really call attention to what makes this business different. I do it all the time. Another thing, kind of off that same point, that I actually learned from Andrew in reading his book Sales Velocity, which if you haven't read Sales Velocity by Andrew Cass, awesome book. One of the best books I've read on online just on marketing and influence ever. And he said, he talks about this concept of invalidating, like invalidate the competition, right? So you kind of want to be a little polarizing, and you kind of want to. That's why it makes sense to, not be in 3 different businesses. Like you don't want to be in a low ticket business and then a high ticket business because they're you want to be able to do like what Roxy Jordan did, what my team member Roxy did, which is like, hey, I made a $3,000 commission. In my old company, I would have to make 30 sales in order to make that same commission, and I didn't even have to close the sale, right? You see how it's kind of polarizing, and she's talking about like it's kind of an us versus them. That's something that you really, the best marketers in the world they're very polarizing, and they're very good at discussing like, this is what makes us different, and this is why you don't want to be a part of whatever they've got going on over here. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, I'm gonna wrap it with this, is leadership. In this industry, people respond to leadership. And that's why it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to get results in this business, or probably in most businesses, if you have low self-esteem, right? That's where personal development really comes into play, because you've got to be confident in your ability to lead people if you want to. If you want to get people's attention, but especially if you want to. If you want to influence more people, you've got to be very confident and very able to say, this is the next step, right? I see a lot of videos, a lot of people that do video marketing where they give a lot of good value in the video, but they don't do any call to action. Everything that you do online, whether, and any type of content that you do, whether it's a blog post or a video, you've got to have a very crystal clear call to action. You've got to be very comfortable in saying, this is what the next step is. And just by saying that over and over and over again, getting very good at saying, click here now to learn whatever the next step is, you're going to show your prospect and kind of send this message, this unspoken message to your prospect that says, I am the leader that you're looking for. And that is really what you want to be going on in their mind, is you want them to be thinking, oh my God, this guy is like me. He's found an answer to our problems, right? We talk about the problems so to kind of identify with them, wow, this person found an answer to our problems, I'm at least curious enough to take the next step. And you always want to be just promoting the next step. A lot of people make the mistake of talking about 3 or 4 or 5 steps down the line, and you only want to be selling the next step, whether it's, click here to meet Jeff and discover the laptop lifestyle system, right? That's just the next step, right? Just sell the next step, and in whatever you're doing, just focus on, here is the next step that's going to send the message to your prospects that you are the leader that they're looking for, and that's going to destroy that brick wall, create more trust, establish yourself as an authority, get more attention, and ultimately lead to more leads and sales in your business. Thanks so much. If you got some value from this, let me know one way or another. I would certainly appreciate it. And this has been Adam Chandler in Denver, Colorado, and this call is a wrap.